Okay.
Live.
All right, we're live. You sure we're live? Dave?
Confirm.
Live Facebook? Can y'all believe I don't have Facebook? How
Well, you'd have
weird is that?
You have the public figure
Yeah,
page,
but I mean,
personally, you don't do it
I
at all?
don't follow like my, old high school cross-country teammates.
Come
and
on.
get pictures of their kids and shit.
Why
I mean,
not? You might be missing something.
I might. Birthdays. Like Anna has to tell me all the time, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday. How'd you know? I saw it on Facebook.
You got to see how perfect everyone's life is. That's what Facebook's all about.
Okay. Well, I might do that. All right, let's start this thing. All right, welcome back to the Stages Podcast. Last day of the Colorado Classic. And lo and behold, it's raining.
Kind of the story of the Colorado Classic.
At 3:30, it started raining, JB. I don't believe it.
It's like you could set your watch to it.
Yeah.
This time of year in Colorado.
I've been saying that, this time of year, these stages, I'm assuming we'll be back here, or the race will be back here next year. You got to move them up.
Move it up early in the morning. That was the big takeaway. If they could take the exact same event up a couple hours and beat the storms, I think everyone would be a bit happier, right?
Yeah.
So
Hey,
you will hear some of that rain pounding the airstream as we're doing this last Stages show from Denver.
I asked JB, I said, can we do anything about that? And he says no.
About the rain?
Yeah.
Well, if I could figure out how to do anything about the rain, this whole event would be different.
All right, so
I can't.
JB, as you know, even though you have your back to him, we have a special guest in the studio today, TJ Eisenhart, the kid who did you listen to any of did you listen to any of the podcasts where we were talking about you?
Man, the first one during Breckenridge when you guys were just like,
oh man,
just humbled me, man. I was just on
a
next
total,
level.
Total
I was
reach
next
around.
level. I
Total
mean,
reach around.
Out of body, man. Here we got JB and we got Lance Armstrong just going off saying I'm the shit, and I was just like, wow, bro, man.
That was
losing
cool,
it,
huh?
man, losing it. Literally, 12-year-old TJ was losing his mind. Even now.
What does TJ stand for?
Taylor Jordan.
Taylor Jordan, because we got a Jeffrey Benedict and now a Taylor Jordan.
Yeah.
So we're not just going to blow smoke up your, you know what, because you're here, but that was an epic ride.
Yeah.
Did you know you had that in you? And we're talking about a stage from 2 days ago. Forgive us, but that's what everyone's been talking about.
It was the story of the race.
Yeah. No, I mean, you always know, I mean, from training that you're capable of stuff like that, but not that, you think like I told the team and everyone else, I was planning on like 2 laps ago to do something, and days like that, man, they come like once or twice a year where all of a sudden your mind shuts off and pure body instincts just kick in, man. And it was like first attack in, and then I had like 2 guys. Man, you either hold on or you off. I get to the top of the climb, man, and there's Ian, and I'm like, man, I grew up. I'm gonna ride hard, and we're gonna have a good day. And what's funny, man, is I was actually going for the most aggressive jersey, and that's the one jersey I didn't get. So
I heard that, but because you had every other jersey. So
man.
They
you gotta share the love, though. You gotta share that.
Who the hell gets the most aggressive jersey that day?
It was Stetna, man.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Well, we got to know more about you. That was the first thing we noticed. We were watching the coverage, the day where the coverage was really good, weather permitting, right?
Yeah.
And we're looking at this kid riding. A couple of things. First of all, we're like, I think Lance called you the anti-Froome. Your neck is like craned up like a bird, like you're looking for your dog in the woods. And we're like, what is the deal with that? And your brother who's sitting next to you, John, he explained a little bit to me, but I'd rather you explain it, that style and where it came from.
Yeah, man. Honestly, the more I think about that, because everyone's always commenting about that, and I don't even realize it now, but I was really, really small when I started riding, like when I was 11, 12. And
you're talking short?
Super short, super skinny, like everything, just like. And, when you're in those big pelotons racing against, like, the Cat 3s or whatever, you're always, like, perched head up, like making sure you can see what's going on. And I think that just kind of stuck, where it's like perching the head up, seeing what's going on. But I've worked on it a little bit, to be more in the peloton, to keep it a little more down. But when I'm just in my zone, it just kind of, the whole body does its own thing.
If it works for you, go with it.
Whatever,
it's
it
all
works.
the flow, bro.
I know. We talked about it in the tour. Froome's head down seems, it doesn't seem like it would work, but it obviously has. So stick with it.
I read your so the I think it was the race preview on cycling. I read the George Steliak called him.
No,
I read so that you had these quotes in the race preview.
Oh boy, here we go.
You were going on about I was a caterpillar and I'm a butterfly and the righteous after part. I called George. I said, "Who in the fuck is this kid?" I mean,
man,
what?
Came out of the wormhole there, man.
And then he was like, you'll see. Sure enough.
Yeah, man. No, I love that. I love that because you get a lot of those interviewers or who are stoked on that because you're different.
Yeah.
And then you get those haters that hate that and think you're not taking it seriously, but
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, like for reals, bro.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I just don't talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
I just talk to people I like, and I deal with that. Yeah.
That's a good strategy.
I might be stoked and happy all the time, but once you wrong me or like go on my bad side, I don't forget that shit, man.
Okay, well, you and me will talk offline.
Yeah, man, for real.
Dude, if you've learned that,
I think me and you have some like common.
And you're 23 years old?
Yeah.
And you're learning that. It took me till 40 to learn that.
Yeah.
To start cutting off the bad vibe people.
Yeah. Well,
that's very mature of you.
What I've realized, man, is
very mature for a guy who seems very immature at times.
people just hate happiness. People are so afraid of happiness, and when they see someone else with pure happiness, they hate on that shit, dude. They just hate that like someone is so happy and they want to do something to break that up.
Yep.
But
it's I think it's a generational thing. So we did this podcast during the tour, and Taylor would put up his home videos during the tour, and we used a lot of them and talked about them and laughed at them, and I've known Taylor a long time, so I'd expect that.
Yeah.
But I did a day at Ragbri just after the tour, so it's a 30,000 people riding every day in Iowa, so you just a total cross section. And I did a little study, and I asked, I'd go up to a 60-year-old guy, like, "Hey, did you watch the tour?" "Yeah." What'd you think of those, like, Taylor's home videos? "Oh, I don't know, man." Yeah. But then you'd go find a 21-year-old or a 25, or somebody you could tell had some edge to him or was a little hipper. Like, "All right, did you watch the tour?" "Yeah." And same question, like, "Oh my God, I loved it." So it's just, it's that is what it is.
What I found is I realized that kind of this winter is we're almost taught this way to be on these pro tour teams, this image that they want you to have, and a lot of it's just so fake and like it's just lying. And so what I realized, man, and I also realized like normal people can't relate when you have this pro cyclist at a press conference. Yeah. They don't know what's that way. Just be as honest as I can, to just honestly
Right.
just keep it as real as I can, and a lot of people don't appreciate that. They want me to talk about aerodynamics
and then somebody 2 days ago in Breckenridge, somebody must have asked you, what was it, you're out there all day and the field or the group was starting to come back to you, and what was it like? Did you think you were going to hang on? And somebody sent us your quote. You said, "Oh, at that point, I just decided I was going to go balls deep."
Yeah, man.
And I was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
Did he really say that?
Yeah.
And I had to get like 3 confirmations.
Talk about a generational difference.
Yeah,
that means something very different.
So that's 400 watts versus
balls
how
deep,
hard were you going? Oh, I was balls deep.
Balls deep, man.
I mean, that's
what we're going for, man. No, I mean, it's like no sexual preference, like that's not what I was, you grow up,
nobody would think that.
You grow up you grow up snowboarding on the mountain or skating with my bros, and Utah's a funny place because I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just less less air up there when we're skiing or snowboarding, and turn into these surfer guys. And a lot of my friends are basically the same way. I mean, a lot of my good friends actually now are living in California surfing, and so yeah, you grow up saying like "bruh" and "dude" all the time, and like balls deep, and like, or you know, like you grow up and also you just start looking for other cuss words, and so you just start making up your own shit, you know, and so like,
You know what?
you know, like,
There's
so-
something I picked up about you. Well, when we were first talking about you, I don't know if you heard it or not.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this guy's kind of a romantic at heart.
Oh man.
That was when we talked
I'm
about
serious.
the caterpillar and the
Yeah.
butterfly.
Right, and so
I-
then I went and you're turning from a caterpillar to a butterfly, changing teams. I was like,
Yeah.
God, this guy's kind of a romantic, right? And then I went and I looked at your Instagram. Interesting thing about TJ, you may not know, is you're a fantastic sketch artist.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I grew up. My mom, if there's anything, my mom was always throwing a sketchbook at me, always having me sketch and draw. And then pretty soon she signed me up for when I was like 10 years old for these liquid lead art classes, so airbrush. So then I started doing airbrush, and I started like doing like
charcoal
cyclists.
and-
And then pretty soon I signed for BMC at 18, and I had this lame idea that I was gonna be, all right, I'm gonna quit everything, only focus 100% on the bike, like basically shut off my own personality and follow this stereotypical like European cyclist lifestyle. And so I did that for 2 years, and at the end of the 2 years I almost quit. I had to come home early. I actually told everyone, give me 6 weeks, don't call me, don't message me, don't talk to me about cycling or anything. Even my family, I told them don't talk to me about that. And I went to school actually to Dixie State University and just took up basic art again, and fell in love with charcoal, because charcoal is just such a beautiful medium where it's so expressive, and you can just, you're putting your hand on it, you're putting it, getting messy with it, and it's just very cool medium. And then so I did that for a year, and then all of a sudden I fell into love with oil. So all of my newest
Cannabis
pieces,
oil? Or?
Nah, man.
Well,
No, man. Yeah, just some oil paint, and yeah, it's funny though, man. When I'm this invested in this, into the bike and racing season, I'm actually so fatigued that you can't even expect. I can't even do that. I can't paint or anything, just because I don't just go in there and just draw or paint. Like, I get this vision in my mind, and if I don't get it out, it's like this virus, and it just eats at me and eats at me. And so like some days I'll wake up at 2 a.m, go to the studio and just paint until it's like vision's gone, man.
I'm looking.
He's
for
super
the art.
talented.
Yeah.
Dude, I want one in my collection.
Yeah, they're massive too. The newest ones I've done, the two like portraits of the man and
You
woman.
did
I
this
just
sexy chick with like the almost looks like a British flag in the back. You did that?
Yeah. So if you see the other one of the dude,
Check it out,
they're
TJ
massive,
Eisenhart. That's your name on Instagram, just TJ
Yeah.
Eisenhart, Eisenhart. But that's dope.
I don't know
Thanks,
if you
man.
know this. Lance might be embarrassed, but he's got probably one of the sickest collections of cool art that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's like a little
So-
secret hobby of mine.
Yeah, no, you're
Mad
super
respect, man.
talented.
Yeah.
And there's another funny thing I noticed about you. I know
Yeah.
this is the TJ Love Fest,
Yeah.
and you think we'd be doing this over the overall winter, but no,
I just appreciate the love.
we don't. Oh, look
We're
at
in-
the
Another thing I noticed while many you were joking even about like talking about being so super aero, and while everyone trying to be as aero as possible, we got TJ throwing on bracelets, and there's got to be a story with the blue necklace.
And what's up with the necklace?
Oh,
There
dude,
has to be.
you guys are in for a treat.
Okay,
a
good.
treat.
No, actually, yeah, and the listeners are in for a treat.
Yeah. No, this is it. What's funny is you guys are about to get the full truth.
Okay,
right
cool.
here, the first time ever.
Really?
Because all year I've been telling journalists and everything like parts of the truth or like different versions, just because I kind of wanted to keep it secret and to me and personal. But
Well, here we go.
I'm here with Lance, and let's share this.
Wait,
And so,
you like to fuck with journalists? I love you even more.
Isn't that what journalists? I mean, it's about entertaining. So let's have some fun. But
all right.
So yeah, here's the story, man.
All right.
I set up this awesome date with this chick, and
Is she on Instagram?
yeah, but we're not dating anymore, man.
Okay.
That was like a few days
All right,
we
sorry.
went
Keep
out,
going,
man.
keep going.
I go out, buy this rockin' Nirvana shirt. So stoked on this, man, because I love Kurt Cobain. I love
course.
Nirvana, man.
Good taste.
And then I had this sweet jacket. I'm getting dressed, showering up, man. I'm like looking for then hair products. My mom always has the best hair product, and I like she goes the same salon as me, and so but she's always has stashes. They were gone out of town. They were in man, I forget where they were. But anyways, I go upstairs. I like searching through her drawer, and I like find the hair product. But then I open another drawer and I see this blue turquoise necklace. Like I think it was hovering. I think it just like lifted out of itself, like. Maybe even like put it. It went around me like it's, and I all of a sudden I'm looking at myself in the mirror with this, and I say, I am never taking this off. I went on that day, man. I was just like stoked, and then I was like, man, this looks so good. And then the funny thing is, man, the next day I go to training camp for Hollow Esco Citadel, and all the guys are like just. Mind is blown that I'm wearing this massive rocks. Lance was there. We do this first big effort up. Paris Mountain, dude. We just ripped it, and everyone.
No, you ripped it.
We get up to the top, man, and everyone's like, "Yeah, man, just think how fast you would have gone without that." I'm like, "Man, this is the reason I did go so fast. This is part of me." And my mom calls me up. She sees a photo of it, and she's like, "Wow, where'd you get that cool turquoise necklace?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I just picked it up in the airport." And then like they hung out, and my mom was freaking out to my dad, like, "What was he thinking, spending all that money at the airport? You shouldn't be doing that." And I'm like, I arrive home, and my dad's like, "Oh, so how much did that cost?" I'm like, "I didn't buy this at the airport. This is Mom's." I get back to the house, and I tell my mom, and she's like, "Wow, it actually looks really good on you. Why don't you just keep that?" And so there it is. This is actually my mom's turquoise necklace, but my dad bought it for her a while back. Turquoise, so it's not puka shell to everyone who's yelling, "I love the pukas." This is actually an expensive, nice turquoise necklace, and not a puka shell thing. But
you're gonna wear that? You can't wear that in TTs, can you?
Oh, I do, man. I don't. The only time I take it off, man, is actually just like before bed. Just that way I don't break it in bed. But
we don't need to know anymore.
Yeah. In the TT though, man, I always and it's become like. After Redlands, it became this hit where people just, you won the race, and so then people are even more like impressed with this thing, and it's actually turned into like when I started thinking more about it, actually this grounding device for me. You guys seen Inception? How he keeps like that little thing to always remind him like what, like just remember where he's at basically. Mm-hmm. So that's what this basically is for me. It's like ground yourself. Don't ever get carried away with all the like. Oh wait, I actually shouldn't eat that burger. I need to lose weight, or I actually shouldn't. I need to do another interval. It's like no, like look around, enjoy where I'm at. Thank God where I'm at. This is like a blessing every day. I mean, right now I'm sitting in an Airstream with Lance Armstrong doing Stages podcast. It's pretty radical, and so like I just feel that. And like when I after Redlands, I went home. I told my dad, I was like, hey man, we need to order turquoise bracelets. So we ordered a bunch. And now I'm just like, I'm actually already out. At Tour of Utah, those things went like con candy, man, just gone. And for me, like I carry them with me, give them out to people, like, just a reminder to enjoy it, smile.
Give them out or sell them?
Oh, no, dude, I don't sell. That's like selling happiness.
We're going to talk offline.
Yeah.
We're going to talk offline.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Maybe I'll do some shirts later in the off season or something, but
I don't want people to miss that.
You can't sell happiness.
And my friends give me shit all the time. Like, we'll go do a hike.
Yeah.
And, there's only one objective, and that's to get to the top as fast as you can and get down.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could pass 10 of the world's most beautiful waterfalls, and it'd be like blinders. And my buddies be like, dude, you see the waterfall? What waterfall?
Yeah.
So you're the anti.
Yeah. I mean, I hate it, man, because I spent 4 years in Europe, and I feel like a lot of it I didn't really soak in, and I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have, because I was too focused, at the job and looking.
Yeah, being a bike geek.
Yeah, being a bike geek and looking, and my only goal going pro tour. When that's like your goal is pro tour, why isn't your goal to win races?
Yeah,
that's the messed up thing with cycling, man. Is everyone's goal is to go pro tour. No one's just like goal is to just win bike races and see where that gets them. And I love the question like. I feel like I get asked by everyone like, oh, so you really looking to go up World Tour next year? You looking at this? I'm like, man, I just want to win as many bike races as I can for Hollow Esco Citadel and for George and Rich, Hot Mark, all those guys, because those guys brought me on. They believed in me. They put me in this position to win all year, and yeah, I just want to win for them, man.
Like,
How did that first date?
That was a third date.
The girl like it? She liked the night when you rocked that? You
Man.
busted on the front doorstep?
Yeah, I busted it out on the necklace on the doorstep, man.
She was like,
but
oh my
I didn't
God.
see her after that, man. There was wasn't stoked with the girl after that, but we'll just leave it at that,
Yeah,
man.
no,
She was too high strung for me. I was just like,
I thought you were going to leave it at that.
yeah.
Okay, we are going to leave it at that.
Hey, Lance, just this, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but compare your 23-year-old self to this kid.
Well,
A lot has changed in the sport and the expectations.
yeah, I had a crazier, younger career because I was the world champion at 21, and with that comes obviously the jersey, comes expectation, comes a big new contract, comes all these things, and so it's and this is in the early to mid 90s, so the sport was still is very traditional. It was super traditional then. So this, Taylor's videos and this discussion we just had about the necklace and all these other videos. There was this video, this Cannondale kid like dancing in the bus today, so you showed me,
right.
and then a Caja Rural guy was like mugging down with his bike and like did you see this boogie move?
I didn't see that,
Oh,
man.
yeah, and so if you would have done that in the mid 90s, that would have jeopardized your career.
Yeah.
Bob Roll did that shit.
Yeah.
Bob Roll would roll up, and he got away with it. He'd roll up to a race on his Harley in full leathers, like dangling, and he'd walk in. Argentine would be sitting there and be like, "Hey, what's up, Moreno?" And I mean, but
It didn't fly well then. huh?
No.
Through the course of this, and I know this from hanging out with you, covering the tour, with no other better description than Taylor shenanigans. And I think you guys are buddies, and I'll get to that.
Brothers.
Right? You were kind of, maybe with your era, you were looking at it like, what's going on with this? What is this?
Yeah.
Now, after seeing TJ doing this stuff and some of the other video clips you just talk about, is this kind of changing your mindset about this next generation?
I wasn't judging during the
No,
tour.
No. I'm not. I wasn't saying that. You were skeptical. That's all I said. Skeptical.
Well, I've known Taylor a long time, but I met him as a young kid, and you don't stay the same as you were when you were 17. When you're 27, it just, or whatever it is. I mean, you just change, and so my big thing for him was that in this generation that we live in, that content, that's your content. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this. Like, that's not NBC's content. That's not our content. It's yours. You make it. Mm-hmm. You own it. They will use it. So don't, we're entering this era where we are the channel, and we are the producers, and we are the actors and the directors. And so I think that part's great. The only thing I'll say about Taylor, and this kid has had some of the worst crashes and worse luck and worse injuries. When I met him as a young kid and saw the raw power he had, I thought, this kid has 2 Roubaix, 2 Tour Flanders. I mean, he endless prologues, endless time trial. I mean, whatever he wanted to do, and he just, he's had this shitty luck, which some of it's self-inflicted, some of it's not. But and who knows? I mean, maybe he still has those good rides. I mean, he's had a tough career for a young guy.
But he seems to be on the mend and riding well.
I'll never forget when he was so injured. We were in the old race, the one that preceded this, the Pro Challenge. We were having
It was blue turquoise.
Yeah.
no, a cane, like Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah, like Kramer.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Like Evil Knievel, he was going to open it up and take a shot of whiskey.
Yeah. I think he was doing. Anyway, never mind.
But you guys are buds, right? Is it?
Yeah, it's funny how it worked out. I mean, I'd grown up watching Taylor career, and being kind of behind it, and always like in awe of this just phenom, just crushing the U23s, and even like, got the pink jersey at the Giro. But we were never friends back then. I mean, I remember a training camp we did in Solvang with BMC, and he was really serious, really down to business. It was actually that year he crashed, and we were both in our heads about cycling at that time. And it was only until like last year we re-met up at Tour of Britain, and we just hit it off immediately. We both had come over these kind of challenges, me more mentally, him more physically, and also we had both, really found our peace with art again,
Right.
and we both had this this fascination with the mind and, spirituality and all that, and just kind of discovering more about it. And we really hit it off at Britain. We just kept racing throughout, and then we went to Japan, man. And that guy changed my life in Japan. Like, we were just having a good time every night, dancing every night, hanging out. Then he messages me when I was in California. He's like, "Hey, man, like, come up to my art show." So I fly out to Boulder for one day to watch to go to his art show. And I was just like, then I stayed a bit with him in California, and we've just been bros ever since. I mean, we message each other all the time when he's in Europe, everything, and FaceTime, and we just have mad. It really is like a big brother relationship. Yeah. It's funny, in the races, we're pretty both competitive, and so we both kind of on our own. I mean, you saw that Breckenridge, he was chasing me down, but I don't have any hate against that. We're both pros, and it's his job, and we're both super aggressive and competitive about that. But when you get us out on the road and we're just training or hanging out, man, it's like me and my brother right here again, like just two bros hanging out, catching up. And I have a lot of respect for him, and he grew up in kind of a funny situation with a lot of pressure, and grew up in a big family. So it's like the guy has been through a lot, and it's he's had a lot of bad luck with crashes and stuff, but man, as soon as he catches that break, it's gonna just skyrocket.
And you bring up this point, and when we raced, I mean, there were no relationships like that.
Yeah.
Like there were no bros,
Yeah.
or homies, or none of this shit. I mean, everybody, and I made sure on our team, and we spoke about this last July, and I made sure there are no friends.
Yeah.
There's no conversation. You can do that in August.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that this current peloton internationally, there are more bros.
Man, yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, me especially, I just make a lot of friends, and I like, hanging out with a lot of guys.
You're not very likable.
Yeah.
I mean, you ought to try a little charm sometimes.
Marcus Burghardt, he's always like messaging me, like laughing about my posts on social media, having a good time. Me and Rick Zabel, it's the same way. We talk almost every week, and just I was messaging him all throughout the tour, and we're just really good, really close, and it is funny how you say that, how it's like, back then it was just your team is your team.
Right.
The other guys are the enemy. And like in the race, I still see it that way. I don't, maybe at the beginning or when it's a dull time, we'll have fun or joke around and talk to someone else. But when shit is kicking the fan, man, I put my elbow out, and my team is my team. And if you get in my way, then I'm going to do what I need to do to keep us safe. Yeah. Even if it is someone I know and a good friend. I would hope they do the same. I mean, it was the same thing I said, like in the press conference, like, they're like, "Oh, do you expect Howes to, race hard for that 1 second?" I said, "Yeah, I hope so. Like, I want competition,
what's up with
man."
This Alex Howes guy? Is he a homie? Is he a bro?
I don't
know. I can't get a read on that guy.
I don't really know him super well.
Okay,
honestly,
let's end it there, because
yeah.
I'm gonna end up saying something bad.
Yeah, I don't really know him super well. I know I've heard good things from other people, but he's never said anything wrong about me. Never offended me or done anything like that, and so I'll keep it at that,
I love that you were out there all day in Breckenridge, and you got caught at the right time. I mean, I think. Well, you tell us if you get caught 500 meters before the top of the climb.
Nah, they wouldn't have dropped me.
Oh,
no.
I love that.
They would not have dropped. They would not have dropped me. Man.
But then you still, like in your mind, were you thinking you were going to win the sprint again? He's quick.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna put it down to a sprint, dude.
Yeah,
no way.
But you still sprinted.
Before that, I confidence in my descending and a lot of confidence in my own ability, and especially when you have the great George Hincapie in your ear telling you everything, like telling you you're a legend the whole day. It's like, I am a legend, and so you go out there racing like one, man. And so when those guys caught me, they were just as blown as I was, if not more, like just trying to chase me down. And I realized that soon. And they were when Stetna threw that first attack. Yep. I knew like Howes would close it down, and it looked terrible, man. And so I was planning on attacking him again, and I did. And it was probably the best sprint I've ever had in my life, honestly.
It was closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
TJ, we had a very funny conversation in here yesterday with George, and Lance called him out. He was calling bullshit on this. Because George was saying in your team meeting, it was a vibe of he was telling you guys, hey, we've already won. Because you guys had the sprint win.
Oh, yeah.
You had an epic day. we've already won. Lance was like, fuck
Yesterday.
that.
Yesterday you said that?
Yesterday, team
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, but this is singing kumbaya of, guys,
Yeah.
you had a great, you
Yeah.
should be proud of yourselves. Go ahead and just do your best. Bullshit.
Yeah, no, that's how it went, man. That's
But
how
that's the
it
way
went.
George thinks.
Yeah, that's how it went in the meeting, and you know,
What did you
I
think?
was not sure how my legs would react. Honestly, a big day before, but you also don't have a big day like that and not be on good fitness and good form. And so I also realized that. But I was keeping things pretty close to me, and you know, I wanted to win that, man. I wanted to win this overall. That's
Of course.
when you have that jersey on, you don't want to let that go. You don't want to.
Right.
That's why you saw me fighting for the sprints, fighting up there. And honestly, you know, I was like, yeah, I was racing for the win, and I think we all were. I mean, George in my ear the whole day, we were all racing, but you know, he likes to keep things under wraps. I like to keep things a little bit more under wraps, and yeah, we came here with kind of a more sprinter team, and you know, they brought me only really for Breckenridge, and it worked out honestly. But
Might have been good to have one
yeah,
other.
it'd be nice to have a
climber.
climber with me on that stage, but
So here's the text exchange with George while you're out there.
oh boy.
So he says, when you dropped the other kid, I forget the kid's name, he goes, shit, we solo now. He goes, yeah, Daniel cracked. Not good to be solo now, but we all in, or as you say, balls deep.
Yeah, balls deep, boy.
And I go, yep, you're pregnant. George says, if the rain comes, this could be good. A big cloud rolling in. I said, is he good in the rain?
Oh, I was praying for that.
Yeah, George says, yes, and the field will be fucked. Oh, it's raining now. This is good. I said, come on, dude. George says, fuck. I said, he can make it. George says, we can still win. And I said, he has to just sit there when you're with these guys.
Yeah.
Of course, you attacked. Yeah. And he goes, yep. And I said, make sure he damn sure doesn't try to pull no heroics. He goes, yep. And he attacks.
Pull heroics. Like you guys said, I'm a romantic, man. I'm a romantic.
I was just more worried about rolling through with him. Like,
Yeah.
just-
Oh, no way,
you
man.
That's when you play possum. You're
No,
like,
no,
dude,
no,
I've been
no.
out here all
Yeah.
day. I can't pull. I'm so screwed. I'm so tired.
No, I
I'm
mean, and
cramping.
they also really they didn't even bother asking. They respected that this guy's done, man, and they didn't even bother asking me. But yeah, I was praying for the rain. Once it did come, I was hoping it would stick because a lot of the guys are pretty nervous on the descents, and I just send it.
Send it, bro.
I want to revisit one more thing while we have TJ Eisenhart here. This was a cool moment. And with the 3 weeks we spent covering the tour and the 4 days here, there was one cool moment that I really liked. It was a very candid moment that you may have heard from Lance. If you didn't, that's why I want to revisit it. When you had that epic day, let me back up. People keep asking us, who's the next great American? Right?
We heard it for 3 weeks.
Everybody wants to know.
Why are there only 3 Americans?
Yeah.
Who should we watch? Where are they? Who is it?
Yeah.
And then you had this epic day, and Lance was like, whoa. Hey, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Let's not do this
Again.
to this kid.
Yeah.
And I'll let you go back, and you even said, which I thought was really resonated with me, and I think a lot of our audience, you were like, that happened to me as a kid when people would bring up Lamont. Like, don't do that to this kid.
Yeah.
You got him right here, and I think this is, you know, you've been through a lot. You can
the road is littered with those kids,
Yeah.
those hopes,
next.
the next this, the next that, and the next so and so. And it's just I don't ever want to get in a position where I'm saying that is the next. That kid is going.
It's not fair.
It's not fair,
No.
and it's not worth it. That's ridiculous.
Well, why do you want to be the next, man? Why don't
Well,
you
that's-
want to be you?
We're gonna talk offline
You know?
again. I mean, I
I want to be I want to be TJ Eisenhart, man.
So when you
like,
were-
I respect Lamont, I respect, but they're them, you know.
Yeah.
I want to be me.
I would get asked when I was young. They said, "Are you the next?"
You said I'm the first Lance Armstrong?
No, man.
Damn, TJ.
TJ.
People that people got pissed. They were like, they thought that was.
They thought you're hating.
Yeah, they thought you were trying to diss on.
And they like to try to build a wedge that isn't there,
Well,
don't they?
it actually is there, but hopefully,
Yeah. No, I mean,
Maybe over time.
I don't want kids growing up to be like me. I want kids growing up to be like them. You know, I want to inspire kids the way Lance and the way George and all those guys inspired me to get on the bike and start racing. And I mean, Lance is the only reason I'm riding my bike. In 2000 and was it 2001? We went to Spain and visited my brother, and we saw Lance going through the Pyrenees with the yellow jersey, and that was it for me. That was
a good year.
That was it, man. I was hooked on that moment, and watching him grow up and racing, never. I mean, he's the only reason I'm on where I'm at now. So mad love and respect for that. But I want to be me, and I want other kids to grow up being them. You know.
And I take no offense to that. In fact, I would tell most kids, don't grow up to be exactly like that.
Yeah, I would say
tweaks.
the same. I mean, maybe learn from my mistakes, maybe learn from, everyone else's, but like, everyone's going to make mistakes, everyone's going to grow up, but I mean, that's the beauty of it, man. I mean,
Right.
Honestly, I love like the mistakes and, the mess ups and the screw ups, because that means we're human, and that means, we have an opportunity to learn and grow from that. We're not just doing all this perfectly and moving up, and that's a boring life, dude. That is so lame.
Wow.
Awesome. DJ, thank you, man.
Man, thanks
Good
for
luck
having
to
me.
you.
Yeah.
What's next? What's your next race?
I don't know, man.
Is your season wrapping up?
I think today may be the last one. I don't know if I'm doing Alberta. I don't know what the team's plans. There's some other guys who might go to Alberta, but I'm down to always do whatever the team wants me to do. But if not, I'll see you guys at the Hincapie Grand Fondo.
That's right.
So rock on there. Should be a rad time.
Rad. That's the most righteous after party.
Dude.
Where is the after party tonight?
After party tonight's in BMC. I mean, not on the BMC bus, for sure not, man. Don't have like a glass of champagne, toast, and go to bed by 9:30. Nah, man. The after party bus is gonna be in Hincapie bus for sure. We're gonna enjoy it, and yeah.
I'm driving back to Aspen. Otherwise,
no, you're not. You're coming.
No, you are.
You're not.
I've been 4 days without my kids. I'm going home to roll around with my kids.
Yeah.
Best for you?
Yeah, Instagram at
what's
TJ
your
Eisenhart, just my name, straightforward. And then my Twitter, my old is TJ underscore Eisenhart. The old one got like hacked, and then
like cock pictures or what? What happened?
They just would never allow me to like log back in. So
it got hacked.
So yeah, so I had to start a new one, and I think people, you follow me on Instagram. That's mostly where I do some funny stories, and you just get the full TJ experience.
I started following you.
So
how many followers you got?
It's been exploding, man, these past 2 weeks.
I would hope.
So
let me see how many you got. Let's get you some followers.
Listeners. For a Connie guy.
6,400.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get it
above 10.
Yeah.
Come on, listeners.
Let's get
it above 10.
Let's get that rolling. Let's get that. I won't disappoint you.
Yeah.
A lot of people I would get comments all the time where people call my brother or dad like, "What is this guy's deal? Where did this guy come from?"
I admitted it the first day. I was like, what is this?
Came out of that cocoon, man. The butterfly, bro. Butterfly.
All right, bro. Thanks.
All right, TJ.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually we've gone over quite a bit. We're gonna wrap up. Great 4 days in Colorado.
Yeah.
Awesome time.
I think we wish the race luck. I mean, we talked about it. It's a new format. It's a new twist. I'll be interested to see. These are expensive events. It'll be interesting to see if this formula with ticketing and selling tickets to the music and the race, how that does. But today, today was like watching paint dry. But that stage into Breck and even the stage yesterday, although we lost, you were racing, TJ, but we lost the satellite, so we couldn't watch it. But just getting the updates that I was getting from George, super intense. So the shorter style of racing, a smaller field. I'm not a fan of 6-man teams or even 8-man teams, but I don't know. It definitely changed the dynamic.
Yeah, you just got to remind yourself this was a first-year event, new concept. They're going to have some growing pains. They'll work through them. And I was super impressed.
Start the stages earlier next year.
Yeah, start the stages earlier. But, man, people were incredibly kind here in Colorado.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. Thanks to Infinite Monkey, Theorem.
They were the best hosts.
For letting us post up here right off the race course. We're very grateful for that. But with the slants, just, people, especially now, I mean, being it's like you see something like 3,000 things a day, if not more, that you can decide to engage in. So people spending time with us here, 30, 40 minutes a day, pretty grateful.
Yeah. Filled up the cuss jar a little bit, too.
And don't forget to hit up We Do Sport, WED.
Because we are, and we talked about it during the tour, I am, at some point, or all of us, my team, are going to put the Aspen 50, the 50-mile mountain bike race, on sale.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do it these 4 days. We got busy. It was hectic. But that'll be the quickest way to know when it goes on sale. Is just sign up at WeDoSport.com.
Everybody I've been bumping into here in Colorado is like, what's next for stages? What's next?
Yeah, early July.
I'm gonna just take a page out of TJ's book and go. I just don't know, man. I
man.
might just go paint.
Present.
I
dude.
don't.
Present. That's why it's called the present, dude. The greatest gift you can get, man.
We got to have you back on again, bro.
Dude, anytime, man.
Dude, bro.
Anytime.
Do you know? And I was.
Let's go mountain biking, dude.
Okay,
we'll have a good
come
time
to the
mountain
50.
biking.
I'm going to invite you to the 50.
Let's do it, man.
I'll comp your entry.
My brother, come.
Your brother can. I'll comp his
Let's
entry
do it.
too.
Let's
I'll
do
get
it, man.
50% off for the
Yeah,
brother.
yeah, that makes sense. We'll have a good time, dude.
But no, just you know, I have a character called, and this is the last thing we'll say to let people go. But I have a character called the Boulder Dude.
The Boulder Dude.
Have you heard of Boulder Dude, or have you heard Boulder
Is that
Dude?
like a cartoon character? What is
It's
this
like
guy?
a
persona?
it's your typical Boulder Dude. It's like, dude, bro.
Man,
Dude, I was walking down Pearl Street the other day, dude.
just slaying the gnar, brah.
What was the intervals up the in car? This guy here repeats up in car, dude. All right, but you got a little Boulder Dude in you. I love it.
I got
Utah,
I got a lot of Utah dude in me, man.
We'll save the Utah stories for next time because
Yeah.
I think there's probably some pretty good Utah
man.
stories.
Yeah, it's just beginning, man. It's just beginning.
All right, brother. Look, you got some pretty girls out here waiting for you.
It's my brother's wife, dude.
Whoops.
He'll take that. That's a compliment, dude. Lance Armstrong.
Whoops. All right. See y'all soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. What do you have to say, dude?
This is amazing.